welcome to Blackwood Engage Layout and another update on what I've been doing on the layout. Hopefully you enjoyed that short montage of pictures and video which is trying to showcase the small area that I've been working on over the past 6 weeks. So without further ado, we'll go over and I'll just explain exactly what I have done to more or less complete the scenery on that particular section. So starting down at the area where the signal box is, obviously the signal box is new. That's a ratio kit, very easy kit to put together. There's probably only about a dozen parts to it. When it is put together it does look god awful because it's bright red plastic, but once it's been painted and given a little bit of weathering, the signal box does look the part. Just zooming in on that actual signal box, there's obviously quite a bit of detail work. You'll see that I have put in a walkway, scale model scenery, the walkway, and then we've got obviously the safety barriers. Some have been painted in the ubiquitous yellow, but the ones are just right at the front of those relay boxes, they are just in a silvery colour. The signal box itself, I've tried to give it a little bit of weathering. It's not brilliant, but I'm quite happy with it. Again, we've got relay boxes along on the other side of it. And I've also put in a crossing, again using scale model scenery. It's really a crossing just to allow track workers to get into the sort of gap between these two running lines. And the other thing I've also put in is I've put in quite a lot, or I've tried to replicate the orange trunking. Now what I've actually done is not just put in the orange trunking, but I've also tried to replicate the actual black cables that you would actually see coming out of the trunking, and they would normally just sort of lie on top of the ballast. So I'm quite happy with that. It does look not too bad. Please let me know what you think about it in the actual comments. But as I say, I think it's turned out relatively good. If I now just zoom out a little bit, obviously the overhead portals, they've been completed. That was one of the things that was holding up. In the last video I did mention that N-Brass had run out of the A-frame registers, so they did come back into stock, and obviously all the overhead gantries in this section are now complete. Again, it's a lot of little details. If I maybe zoom in to the other side there, going the wrong way, you see things like sleepers, bits of rail, and the difficulty or the trick is not just to sort of plant them on top of the static grass, it's to try and make it look as though these are actually embedded into the grass, because that's what you would see in sort of real life, which I think I've more or less managed to achieve. Again, if I come around, we've got more relay boxes, more bushes that have obviously been put in there to tie in with the existing track. And again, we come all the way back up to obviously that road bridge, and then coming down on this side, again we've got more track workers here. There's another barrel crossing there using wooden sleepers, and obviously the edge here right at the baseboard you can see has also been planted up. Hopefully this is picking up and I'm not making you too seasick as I move along on it. So while it's quite a short section of track, it does take quite a considerable time to get it scenic up, to get it to look right. So hopefully this does look pretty realistic, and what I'll do is I'll actually take the camera and we can look from the other side of the railway bridge. So I've come round to the side of the layout, and this is the bit that I was working on before, and as you can see, that was all synced up. I was really pleased with that. And now if we actually look towards the other side, as you can see, everything looks tied in. It doesn't look as though it's completely separate. You can see all the overheads coming right around the back of the signal box, and then obviously the station. So really pleased with that. A lot of work, 6 weeks worth of work, because doing the detailing work does take an exceptionally long time. You're waiting for things to dry, so a lot of this work is done very early in the morning or very late at night, so that I'm either at work while things are drying or I'm in my bed while things are drying. But I am really pleased with how this has come out. Now, there was one other thing which I did do in the last 6 weeks, and some of you who probably look at some of the Facebook pages may have seen it. Okay, so I've turned the camera around and I'm looking back at the other side of the road bridge, and the area over here that was all synced up, and really pleased with it. And when I released my last update, obviously I had the train running session towards the end, and something actually rather bugged me. And what rather bugged me was that big yellow bag from Harborne Hobbies. It's been sitting up there for absolutely months and months and months. It's just full of other bags. But what struck me was the fact that it really was in some ways detracting from the scene. So in one of my earlier episodes, the area that I've just finished, I had been planning to do some sort of removable back scene, which sort of worked, but I didn't take it any further. However, after I had viewed my last video and that yellow bag really annoyed me, I decided to see whether or not I could do something in terms of a removable back scene. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop the video here and then we'll restart it, and I think you might see a slight change. And voila, there we have the removable back scene in place. I'll try and pan just very slowly along here, but I think you will probably agree that it certainly merges almost perfectly in with the existing scenery along that section of the layout that I completed probably about a month and a half ago. So absolutely blown away when I put this in, and obviously when you see trains running through this, it just totally makes the scene look totally different. So what I'll do is I'll take you around the back and I'll show you just exactly how it's built. Right, come round the back. The back scene is made out of 3.5mm plywood. It's, as you can see, if I come up here you can probably see the shape of it. It is a very irregular shape. It starts off straight, then it's got a slight bit of a curve to it, and then down here we have got various angles to accommodate the shape of the baseboard, and it comes right back down to here. It's been strengthened on the back with some balsa wood. The balsa wood didn't cost me anything because these are in actual fact spent firework rockets that I've collected over the last couple of years. They've just simply been wood glued on at the joins, and doesn't add any weight to it, but it strengthens it, and obviously it is a one-piece bit of construction, and I should hopefully with one hand be able just to lift this out if it decides to come out. Yes, there it is. And I'll move this down, and there we are, and that's the layout back to what it was before. And it means that when I'm filming, I can remove the back scene, and I can still film down here at track level, so I can still get all these good running shots, etc, etc. But when I'm filming from the other side, I can have the back scene in. It also acts as a bit of a protection to the layout, because obviously a lot of the stuff along here is quite delicate, and it would be quite easy for it to get damaged. But when you put the back scene back in, it does lend a bit of sort of safety to the actual layout. And I'll now try and put the back scene back in. Apologies because I'm doing this one-handed, but as you can see, just clips in on behind the metal brackets that are screwed to the actual layout. So very, very simple to put back in, and then gives you the fantastic views when you look on the other side. So that concludes the update on the layout. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. It does take time, but I think it's well worth it at the end of the day. And really what we now need to have is our usual running session, which you'll be able to see obviously trains running past that section where we've now got the back scene. So many thanks for watching the update, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. Bye for now.